Indian agriculture is on the path of transformation in the last 4 decades. The necessity for evolving new agri model in India has become the necessity given its unique characteristics and typical diversity. India is primarily a rural-based economy where over 60% of population still relies on agriculture and rural system. Moreover, the government of India has an envision of achieving 5.0 trillion US dollar economy by 2024 and 7.0 US dollar trillion economy of by 2030 from the existing 2.6 trillion dollar economy which was in 2020 and 21 financial year. So in this video we will discuss precision farming, what are the components, what are the concepts, how we can use this precision farming technique for increasing our agriculture output. So friends, first of all we will try to know the definition of this precision farming. Friends, actually we all know that precision agriculture is an integrated and holistic technology driven approach to manage the entire gamut of agriculture practice. What he is doing, it is doing site specific and whole farm production efficiency. It is increasing productivity and profitability while it is minimizing the impact on wildlife and environment. So precision agriculture is moving towards the sustainable development of agriculture system. In short, we can say that it is the right input at the right time, in a right amount, at a right place, in a right manner. How the precision agriculture work? It works. It is a variable. Variable means some inputs you are giving to the agriculture system, and if you are planning yourself according to this variable, like nutrition, like fertilizers, waters, post-harvesting system. So if you are planning this system with the help of this new technology, information and communication technology, so we can say that we are moving towards the precise agriculture system. Here is the overview of the precision agriculture system. It is the sensor and remote sensing based, high precision positioning system, geomapping, automatic steering system, variable rate technology, integrated electronics and communication. So all the variables we will discuss in detail in subsequent slides. First of all, why you require this precision agriculture? The precision agriculture is required for reduction in fertilizers, chemicals and seed cost, because in upcoming days the government is planning to reduce input to the agriculture system and he is trying to produce more from a per hectare field of a farmer. So if you are reducing fertilizers, chemicals and seeds, you are reducing input cost and it is going to benefit farmers. It is also increasing yields. It is improving the quality of the crop, improved economic analysis, computerized capturing, storing and analyzing field records, tracing the production process health, guaranteed food safety, document how food was produced, profitability, document compliances with the environmental regulations, GPS guidance advantage, reducing skip and overlap with input application, longer working hours and high labor productivity, accuracy at higher speed, less affected by the weather. In short, we can say that with the help of this precision farming, you are getting some important and the pre-decided data of weather system. You have some cropping pattern of a particular field. You have some information regarding how much input is required for a particular crop in a particular field. So if you are planning for this system in a particular agriculture system, so you are reducing all these factors for an agriculture system. So this is a need. Now, what is the component? There are some different components of precision agriculture system. There are mainly, in a broad way, we can say that there are three systems: information, technology, and management. If you divide this three broad component in a very small component, so you can subdivide this broad component in a small component like computer, global positioning system, geographic information system, sensors, application control, combined harvester with the yield monitors. First, the global positioning system, as we all know that, you can see in this figure how this global positioning system is helping in the precision agriculture system. First of all, you should know what is the spatial variability. Actually, spatial variability occurs when a quantity that is measured at different spatial location exhibit a value that differs across the location. So, spatial variability can be assessed using the spatial descriptive statistic such as the range. So, in a simple language, we can say that, for example, in northern India, the soil quality, moisture quality, the rainfall pattern is different as compared to the southern region. So it is different. So if you have accurate data of the variable spatial variability of these regions, so you can think that how much precisely you can give input to the agriculture system. So this GPS system is helping. What GPS is doing? GPS is providing the accurate positional information which is useful in locating the spatial variability with the accuracy. So what is GPS is doing? GPS is doing help in identify any location in the field to assess the spatial variability and site specific application. For example, you can say that in northern India, if a crop is growing, we can say that sugarcane. So the condition for growing this sugarcane is different in northern region as compared to the southern region. So with the help of the GPS, you can take the different locations data at a one time, and with the analysis of this data, you can precisely define that how much input is required to grow this sugarcane at a particular location with the help of this GPS system. Now, the geographical information system is also used in this precision agriculture system. What is happening with this geographical information system? Geographical information system is a computer system capable of capturing, storing and manipulating, displaying spatial reference information. What is happening? You can say here with this figure, and there are some applications which I have shown you in this figure of this geographical information system. That GIS is used for SCAD, automatic vehicle locations, outage system, but this GIS can also be used for agriculture system, just like precision agriculture. How you can use this geographical information system in a PA, I will explain you. Actually, this geographical information system are a computer hardware and software that use feature, attributes and location data to produce maps. So with the help of this map, what you are doing? With the help of the map, you are doing crop scouting plus soil nutrition level. So this data you are transferring to the computer system, then this data, after analyzing this data, with the help of this geographical information system, you can vary your input. If you are scouting any crop, if you see any weed, then weed control can be done. And if you see the lower nutrition level in the crop, so your input can be increased for increasing your nutrition level in your crop. So this is the main geographical information system, help of the geographical information system in precision agriculture. This is the data layer. Actually, what is happening, whatever I have you told in my previous slide, you can see here. This is a geo map, yield map, fertility map, crop map, plant indices, water bodies, irrigation channel, field burns, soil map, base map. You can prepare all these types of map with the help of GIS system, and by this map you can gather some data, and these data layers you have got after imaging the crop, and by analyzing this data you can get some information regarding crop scouting and soil nutrition management. So what you are getting from this GIS layer of related information, you are getting bare soil imagery, topography and the farmer experience. All these things you are comparing, so you can vary your input according to the requirement. This is called the precision agriculture. Now the remote sensing. What remote sensing is doing? Remote sensing is collecting data from a data sensor, can simply the handheld service mounted on an aircraft or satellite based. So remotely sensed data provide a tool for evaluating crop health. What this remote sensing data is doing, it is doing crop identification, crop acreage, crop vigor, density, maturity, growth rates, yielding forecasting, actual yield, soil fertility, effect of fertilizer, soil toxicity, soil moisture, water quality, irrigation requirement, insect infestation, disease infestation, water availability and location of canal. So you can see here that these all are the input which we required for growing a crop. But if you are getting this crop data and analyzing the data, that how much of all this quantity is required. So what you are doing? You are doing precision. You are doing precision in evaluating your input, that how much input is required to growing a particular crop with particular and particular types of requirement, particular types of input required by this crop. What is a variable rate applicator? It is also the component. So in this figure you can see that it is a consist farm field equipment with the ability to precisely control the rate of application of crop inputs and tillage operations. For example, you are doing tillage, that what he is doing, here is a sensor, he is sensing that what type of tillage you require, then this sensor is giving input to this machine, then machine output is doing work according to the input given by the sensor, that this type of tillage I required here. And if you are seeding, if you are giving in the form of seeds to the crop field, then how much seeds is required, and this sensor sense that this much amount of seeds is required here, then it gives input to the this controller processor, and then output will give the output will give to the machine. Then this machine will work according to the sensor's input, and this machine accordingly adjusts itself that how much input is required, whatever input he is getting from the sensor. So this is the variable rate applicator. Now what are the approaches? What are the approaches used in precision farming? Actually, it capture of data at an appropriate scale and frequency, interpretation and analysis of the data, implementation of the management response at an appropriate scale and time. So these are some examples. You can say that whatever component we have used GPS, we have used GIS, we have used remote sensing, we have used variable applicator. So whatever data you have got from this, then what are the application, what are the approaches you should follow for this precision agriculture. So what we do, there are some examples I am showing you. These are some grid sampling, management zone and site specific nutrition management. After getting data from this system, analyzing, and after analyzing data, you will apply the precision agriculture farming management system for just like first the grid sampling. How you do the grid sampling in approach to the precision agriculture system? Actually, it was the very first approach used to develop precision application maps. For example, the fields are to be sampled along a regular grid at a sample spacing ranging from 60 to 150 mm depending upon the field size, and the samples are analyzed for the desired properties. So, the result of these analyses are interpolated to unsampled locations by geostatistical techniques, and the interpolated values are classified using GIS technique into a limited number of management zones. For example, if you are growing a crop like rice, so from a particular field, you have gathered some data, you have analyzed some data. Now you are applying this analysis on a particular field. With the help of this analyzing, you are preparing a grid for sampling purpose. Okay. I mean to say here is that whatever you have learned from this rice application, you are applying this system to the another field, and this is called the grid sampling. Now, management zone. Actually, you have seen that this zone is good for a particular crop, this zone is good for particular crop, the moisture of this zone is good, the nutrition level of soils, while this zone is good, this zone is good for a dry type of crops. So, after analyzing data with the help of the GIS and GPS, you will make some zone here. So, when you are making zone, so the delineation of the management zone uses single or multi-GIS data layer with a bare soil, imagery, topography and farmer's experience, EC of soil, etc. So, with the help of whatever I told you, whatever data you have collected with the help of GIS and GPS in the form of bare soil, imagery, topography and farmer's experience, now you will divide the field into the 3 different zones. How? This is a high, medium and low based on the productivity of the area and the crop in which can be applied accordingly. Whatever I told you, for a zone which has a high zone, here you don't require much fertilizer because the nutrition level of this soil is good, moisture is good, so the fertilizers can be reduced for high zone, and the low zone it required more fertilizers and more nutrition for the plant, so you will apply more fertilizers, you will give more water for you will require more water for irrigation. For the third zone, to think, if you will not distribute this field into the different zone, you will uniformly apply everything on this total field. So it is a loss to the farmer. It is a loss to the farmer. While you are making the zone, so you know that this is a high zone, you don't require higher fertilizer, and in zone 3 you required more fertilizer as compared to the zone 1. So you can clearly differentiate between the different zone. So you are reducing some fertilizer input, irrigation input and whatever input you required for your crop production. So this is the management zone. Now this is the site-specific nutrient management. It is also the part of your precision agriculture. What is happening? This is the step. For example, this is your crops. You can see that in a step 1, establish a yield target to the crop's total needs. In step 2, effectively use existing nutrient. And in step 3, fill deficit between the total need and indigenous supply. Unless and until you will not know that how much your crop is required input, then you will apply uniformly every input to your crops. But if you know that there is a target, that what I have to produce, then what existing nutrient is here for my crop and how much we require. In a simple language, we can say that if you are growing any crop, you know the property of your soil, you know how much water is required. Most important thing is how much production you want. If you know all these things, then you can apply whatever input required by your crop in a very precise manner. So this is called specific nutrient management. So this is a cycle. We can see here is that it is a well-known figure. You will find this figure anywhere, but it is a very important figure. For example, you are doing some analysis with the help of yield, weed and topography with the help of the maps. You are get maps, prescription maps. Then with the help of this map, you get that how much fertilizer required for this area, how much planting is required, how much spraying is required, then scouting, then harvest. Then with the whatever you have done in a particular field, you will collect data of all the activities, and this data will be processed in this computer. Then it will give output that whatever you have done. For example, you have done 5 kg of fertilizer, you are applying here, then this data stored in this system will give output that in this type of field, just like that this soil moisture, this soil nutrition property, that it will tell you that how much fertilizer is required by you in this type of field. So this is a cycle. You are getting output, you are applying that, again you are giving input, you are getting output, input, output. So this is a cycle for a precision agriculture system. Now, what are the limitations? It is a high cost, lack of technical expertise. Actually, it is a developed country concept. Developing countries is still struggling for getting benefits of this concept, benefit of this precision agriculture. The most important is it is not applicable because it is difficult and costly for small holdings. How much small holdings in India? 58%. Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana. These are the states which have the larger holding, more than 4 hectares. So precision agriculture can be used in this state, but what about the other state? So one most important limitation है, it is small land holding. Heterogeneity of crop seeing system. We are growing rice, we are growing grain, we are growing sugarcane, different crops. So, and market imperfections. This is also the limitations. Data availability, quality and cost. Whatever system is used by the America and what we are using in India is different. GPS system of America is very good as compared to India. Uncertainty on returns on the investment on new equipment. If government is asked Reliance to invest in precision agriculture, then Reliance will ask that if I am investing my money in precision agriculture, that how much output I will get from it. So this is also a drawback. Government can think by investing in a different way, because this agriculture subject is very important for the government. But if you are expecting any investment from private side, so it is very difficult. Now there are some important initiative taken by the government in precision farming in India. For example, some of the schemes like Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, per drop more crop, involved in precision agriculture practice. The ICAR and the Indian Agriculture Research Institute has formulated a project called SensorGri, sensor-based smart agriculture. So ICAR is working on that. The major objective to develop an indigenous prototype drone based, because we have seen in recent past days that in some of the area in India is the drone system is using for spraying our crops, spraying for fertilizers and spray for weed control. We are using drone technology for spraying. So we can say that we are moving towards the precision agriculture with the help of this drone system. Drone technology is also being used. It is ability for smooth scouting over farm. If this is a farm of a farmer, then if you are scouting of this field with the help of the drone, then you are able to get some idea, because if you will see this field from below, and if you see this field from vertical, then the picture which is coming from the vertical scene, then you can say that it is very effective as compared to the horizontal scene by a farmer. There are some mobile apps launched by the government, just like weather information and providing early warning system. So these all are the part of the precision agriculture. Moreover, there are some institutions which are working upon this precision agriculture, just like Central Potato Research Station, Jalandhar, Punjab, role of remote sensing in mapping the variability with respect to space timing. So Central Potato Research Institute is also doing this. MS Swaminathan Research Foundation, Chennai, in collaboration with the NABARD, has adopted a village, Dindigul district of Tamil Nadu, for variable rate inputs application. Moreover, the Tata Kisan Sansar is working on precision agriculture, precision farming, and innovative project pioneered by the TKS is a helping small farmers harness sophisticated modern technology such as satellite mapping and geographical information system to maximize the yield from their land. So in a nutshell, we can say that this precision agriculture system is very important for doubling our farmers' income, which the government is targeting up to 2022. So friends, thank you and happy learning. पढ़ते रहिए, मेहनत करते रहिए.